Ready.
Welcome back to another edition of the Dirty Dozen podcast. This is episode 2 of season 9, week 2. And look who it is. Keenan, manager of Return of the Morgue, on the show. We were supposed to have him last week. He scored the most amount of points in week 1. I gave it to Zach beforehand. Keenan's team said, I think we earned our spot and we're going to take it back. So, welcome to the pod.
Thanks, Busta. Thanks for having me on. And yeah, I'm having my team earned a second spot so quickly here. They felt snubbed, and so did I. So, here we are.
Yeah, I actually think it was perfect because I don't want to have to like, oh, you won later on the week and try to later on down the year and try to figure out how it's going to get you on because obviously you did deserve it. So it's good that you're on it again. And who knows, maybe you'll just be a regular on the pod.
No, I
Um,
mean, I that would be fantastic. That means we're killing it out here.
yeah. I agree. And honestly, killing it is what you did. You're averaging what? I think you're averaging 140. You're 2-0, 74% chance to make the playoffs already. I want to take a look at your lineup quickly. Your lineup is actually insane. So from the positional ranking, you have QB7, RB6, Q RB7, wide receiver 1, wide receiver 5, tight end 12, running back 9, defense 5, kicker 5, and then you have defense 7 on the bench. So that's your starting lineup that you're trotting out this week against me is projected 129.4, and they've averaged 156.69 to start the season. So
Yeah.
that's
I
pretty
mean,
that's
truly
pretty
it
damn
only goes
good.
downhill from here. Like,
Yeah,
we're at
no,
the peak and then it's gonna be like a quick decline down.
nowhere to go but
Um
down.
Yeah, no, I mean it must have been all those mock drafts that I was hitting before the league start. Like I just put a lot of effort in this year, and here we are, like just killing it. So
Is that sarcasm or is that legitimate? So that's a
it's
good
complete
segue.
sarcasm, unfortunately.
Oh, so
Sorry, Busta.
tell us quickly about your draft. How did it go for you? Clearly it went well, but was there a point where you were reaching? Was there a point where like how did it go for you? How did you feel after the draft was over?
Yeah, I mean, dude, I feel like when I think back, to, especially the last 2 years, like I've been kind of getting smoked. Came in last 2 years ago. Honestly, was fighting Joe for last year, I believe. So it's like definitely needed to, I don't know, think about this a little differently coming into this season. And I feel like it's really just like your draft position, like really kind of sets the tone for where you're going to end up at the end of the year. You can make trades, you got to be a great manager, but if your drafted team doesn't pan out the way you want it to, then it's just going to be super hard to get back into the winning position. So
Yeah.
um, I was a little apprehensive about 9, but I think that the way it played out, I was like, okay, like I know Puka's good. Like I hope he doesn't get injured. But like every year I feel like he's like basically balling out even when he's been injured. So I like more or less like just felt really good about that because it's like it's a good offense. Like Matt Stafford's still slinging it. So that it felt that was like a great way to start the whole thing. And then I don't know, dude, something that like just Jonathan Taylor, I feel like every year he's always bringing it. And I feel like, it's been like a little bit of like I know sometimes the narrative's not always perfect for him, but to have those two guys like back to back and then just kind of went down the list with I think Zach said this too. It's like starting like either wide receiver 1, tight end 1, like that sort of energy for, the guys that are starting for me and then like in the bench as well. Like I
Yeah.
don't know, man. Just got at this point. Just feels like I got lucky and hit it out of the park with some of these picks. So we'll see. Like it's a long season. We'll see how they hold up.
I actually I think I said this on my draft recap, but this is one of my favorite teams that I've seen you draft in a while. And
Yeah, you
obviously,
did.
me that I'm always looking at stuff like this, I kind of remember what teams look like roughly from previous years.
Mm,
So I do think this is one of your better teams. Obviously, I do think you went pretty safe in the sense where you took guys that have a track record of being good for fantasy. Like you didn't take that many risks early on in your lineup, which I thought was really solid, and clearly it's working out for you well. You have a clear RB1, clear RB2, and then You pretty much Terry McLaurin's frustrating me. I actually told a couple people to take Terry McLaurin in drafts, and he's been really disappointing. But other than that, you really nailed every single pick so far. So it's good to see. Um, Puka is probably I don't think Puka's the best wide receiver in the NFL, but I think Puka's probably the best wide receiver for fantasy for PPR fantasy in the NFL, not named Jamar Chase.
Yeah,
Um,
or CD, like
I
just
think
very
Puka's
sturdy.
better. I'd rather have Puka
Oh
than
wow, yeah.
CD. For fantasy purposes, I'd rather have Puka. If I'm building an
Hmm.
NFL team, I'd rather have CD. But I think
Okay.
his just the volume that he gets and the quarterback that he has, it's just that's why I loved him last year, and it's just sucks he only played like half the season for me.
And even
But
then, he
honestly, I
still put
love
up
it.
numbers,
And
right?
I'm
Like
sorry?
he played half the season, but he still like balled out when he was
Yeah,
on the
when he
field.
played for me,
Like,
it was so nice.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was so nice having him.
I mean,
But
dude,
yeah,
sitting down for like I actually watched a good amount of games last weekend, and I sat like, but I got there a little bit late for like, 'cause it's like a 10 a.m. slate for the West Coast, and I like just was checking my phone, and I was like, wait a minute, like Puka 45-yard like end round rush for a touchdown, like what the
yeah,
hell?
he's
Like
unbelievable.
he's so reliable. I think that's like, and I think that's what you're getting at the the PPR like best receiver. Like he is just a super reliable guy. So
Yeah,
I
because they
think
use him
that
so often. He's like
yeah.
he's part of the offense. He's not part of the offense, but like he is the offense. So
Hmm. Hmm. I think the one though that I will call out as like a like pleasant surprise so far has definitely got to be ETN though. Like he's had some pretty rocky seasons in the at Jacksonville. It could still go, I would say, poorly for him this year. But the way he started out of the gate, and then the fact that they moved Tank Bigsby, what an electric name, they moved him to the Eagles. I think that just like really shored up his spot. So he's been a pleasant surprise, and then Croxy and then McLaurin, like those are like just like solid bench guys, I would say. It's like crazy
yeah,
to say McLaurin can like sit on the bench and I'll be okay. So if those two guys really start to turn it on, then yeah, like it's we're feeling pretty good about this. So yeah, man, I
yeah,
was happy with it. I don't think I've been this happy with the team since the first time I was in Dirty Dozen with the CMC drafts when I went to the championship. So
yeah.
fingers crossed.
I agree. That's probably been one of your best teams since that. That's what I was thinking about before the pod. I
Hmm.
completely agree. Let's move on towards what everybody's been waiting for, the power ranking. So we're gonna do the
Hmm.
PRs a little different this week. Um, so who's 0-2? So the NFL has a little fun fact for you. Oh, okay. The NFL has 10 2-0 teams, 10 0-2 teams, and the rest of them are 1-1, so 12.
Hmm.
The Dirty Dozen has 3 2-0 teams, 3 0-2 teams, and 6 1-1 teams, so pretty much the same way. Now, I wanted to ask you, so we're gonna give the first I'm gonna just rip off the bottom six of the power rankings that were made by Keenan, and then I want to kind of ask you some questions. So from 12 to 7, we have number 12 is Bottom Feeder Orphan Boy, managed by Joe. 11 is Consensual Flex, managed by Chris Cataldo. 10 is Bad Guys, managed by Ante, even though he is 1-1. 9 is Morning Woody, managed by Rich. 8 is Dumbo's Management is a Dumbass, managed by Chris Scantlebury. And 7, Neighbors Think I'm Selling Dope, managed by Josh. So I wanted to ask a couple of things. So out of the three 0-2 teams, Rich, Chris Cataldo, and Joe, who's more likely like the Chiefs that are 0-2? That's kind of like, yeah, they're 0-2, but just hang on tight. You should be pretty fine.
Dude, I feel like just to like set the vibe, I mean, I feel like especially the past couple of years, like everyone knows that like this is the league where you go hard. Like people take it seriously. Everyone usually drafts, I would say, like good teams, and like if you just have a small gap within your roster, like you could really pay for it. And I know I've been on this, I've been on that side of the ball. And especially, and also like injuries are unpredictable. So, I would just say like even for the 0-2 guys, like even that are in the bottom right now, like there's so much time left, and there's still I think any of these teams could turn it around, and like I could easily be looking at a rough second half of the season. So with that being said, um, I mean I feel like the Rich's team, like I think coming out the gate, like people looked at the draft, and I'm looking at his team right now. Like the Justin Fields thing was definitely interesting. I think like Achan personally, like just I know Miami is going to be kind of a mess this year, but he has some really solid guys. Like and Genty, I think Genty's worth calling out as well. I have him in another league. I think he could pop later, but he's got a lot of like potential on that roster. I
Yeah.
guess is the main point. And some also really reliable guys when you think of like JSN and Myers. So I don't know. Godwin's coming back. Like, there's a lot of potential on this roster for him to like really start to turn it on. And I think his scoring's been pretty good too. So if I had to pick one, like, I guess if you say like dark horse after 2 weeks, but one guy that might, still make the playoffs, I guess, in the 0-2 spot, I could definitely see Rich, turn it around. That's not to say the other two can't do it, but
Yeah.
that's the one that jumped out at me first.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think he has at least a really solid running back core to kind of support. He has two good quarterbacks.
Hmm.
So and he has the best kicker in the league.
Yeah.
He's basically a wide receiver too. So yeah, I could definitely agree with that. So now,
Hmm.
um, do
As a
you
Giants
think
fan, I just got to call out too that unfortunately he does in fact have an absolute howitzer at fucking kicker.
that's
It's
insane?
so
I
sad,
mean,
dude.
the story is really cool too. He was just
Yeah,
like
yeah,
he was a pro soccer player, sitting on the couch, software engineer. His wife was watching football with him, saw somebody miss a field goal, and she was like, "You could do that shit." And he was like, "All right, maybe." And he tried out, and now he's banging shit from 60 like it's nothing.
yeah, yeah. Great,
Nuts.
great place to kick a football too in Jerry World. I just feel like
Oh
that.
yeah,
I don't know, just the ball just sails like in that stadium. So yeah, that's cool. I didn't know
100%.
that story.
Anybody, is there any, so now Rich is okay between Chris and Joe, and I know you said that everybody has a chance. Do you think which of the two do you think would should be worried more, Chris or Joe,
I think I'm
about
looking at the
being
rosters
0
right
2?
now. I'll call out like with Joe's, like what worries me when I look at it is, the two Bears players off the rip, like for some reason that team just is having a hard time figuring it out. And then you have Justin Jefferson, who's an absolute animal. But of course, like he had McCarthy in there, and the offense was struggling to out the gate. And then we'll see what happens, I guess, when Wentz comes in or whoever. So um, I don't know. When I look at his team, like I love Brian Thomas. Like he's probably someone I would have drafted. Had I had that spot. Running back solid. Breece Hall, James Cook. Like, but I don't know. There's a lot of there's a lot of like risk, I would say, when I look at the roster. So um, I don't know. When I look at that one, I think I see the 12 spot right now, and then I'm looking at Chris's. Um, I mean, kind of similar. Like Keenan Allen, like it's very reliable, but just kind of getting up there. Nico Collins, I had last year when he took the hamstring. Like he's so good at playing football, but the Texans' offense just
Yeah.
sputters at the wrong times. Same with the Cardinals. Now Chase Brown's looking at a backup quarterback, which could be good, could be bad, and then having Pickens in there again, like it just there's a lot of risk in there. So
Hmm.
I guess like the 11 and 12 are kind of close at this point. I don't know. If I had to pick one to come out of this on top, man, I don't know. Actually, that's tough.
I
We'll see how
think,
Daniels is, but I
yeah,
don't know. What do you think? I guess.
I think Joe's team looks really good as a football team.
Hmm.
If they were all playing on the same team together, meaning.
Hmm. Yeah.
But I don't really think they're that good of a fantasy team this year. I think they're individual really good. I mean, I'm getting a roaster for this, but I think individually they're great football players. But
Yeah.
this season, I think they're none of these guys will do as good as they
Hmm.
should be on paper. Besides James Cook,
Yeah.
I think James Cook is going to have an awesome year, and I would have loved to have an opportunity to draft him, but I think the
Hmm.
rest of them will struggle.
Yeah, I
So
mean, football's such a team game, and I feel like you're I don't know, there's some guys that are so good that you just draft them because they're on, even if they're on bad teams, like you're just like, okay, like, that's someone who's dependable. They're going to get a lot of looks, whether it's,
yeah,
the getting rushes or receiving yards, whatever. But it's just really, I think it's hard to overcome like a really bad system and like bad offense over time. So I feel like those two rosters have a lot of those type of guys. Like to your point, like really good individual performers, but one guy gets hurt or one offense starts sputtering and like now you're in a tough spot. So
yeah,
yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
Um, it's 8-1 right now. It's just
You can't
it's
stop
just
looking at it.
fuck, man. Eight to
You could have
one.
we could have been rich.
I hate. I'm allergic to free money. I said it in the group chat. Free money is not for me.
Shout out Grant.
Um,
He's doing it again.
so stupid. Let's jump to the 2-0 teams.
Okay.
So the top six for your PRs. Um, Marco, the Incredible Buster. That would be number six.
Hmm.
Number five is Supreme Headed Bandits, Vinco. Four is the Big Elf, Zach. I think he made a big jump. I think he was at no, Zach put himself like seven, I think. So he went up to four. Gritty Gang, Grant at three. A cool Starija, couple Sats, whatever, is at two. And then Keenan put himself at one. And honestly, he deserves it. So there's your top six. So it's there's your top six. So I wanted to
Hmm.
touch on the top three. So in the same way, in the same respect, who's the real 2-0 team and who's maybe in over their skis like the Indianapolis Colts at 2-0,
Oh,
if anything.
that's fun. Dude, I mean, I feel like a cool. Well, okay, so I'll just like clear myself first. Like, I already started at the beginning of the pod. We already talked about my team. Like, again, it really is
My
all
team is a
downhill from
bunch of
here.
dogs, and we're
Yeah,
going all the way. Next
dude, if
question.
it's like almost uncomfortable, like to I guess like to be at the front at this point because like it's such a
Yeah,
long season and whatever, man. Like I'm also not gonna put myself down. Like the reason that I put myself first is because I'm like ahead for points for by like 40 or something
yeah,
versus a cool and I've had a like it's like yeah like you said like 140 average per week. So we'll see how it plays out, but I won't speak on that my roster too much anymore. Looking at a Cools team, I think like a lot of people acknowledge that like yo like this his team's pretty dangerous going into the season. And I mean again like you just it's like one of those things where you look like up and down the roster and Lamar at quarterback, Gibbs and Dobbins, like that's a solid backfield. Garrett Wilson, Abuka, dude, or I don't even know how to say his name. Amika Abuka.
Mika
What a
Egbuka.
what a beast, dude. I would actually for sure take. I already tried to trade for him in my other leagues. I have Baker in both, but a cool. I will totally take him off your hands for the right price. But yeah, like Bowers, and then yeah, like he has a solid like core of guys, like a lot of like starters, so you could see and like good offenses that could really ball out. I think maybe the pressure points though is like the Garrett Wilson. Like you're not sure if he's going to be able to hold up over the season with the quarterback situation. I know they got Harvey in there for Denver for the running back, so maybe he starts to eat away at Dobbins' carries a little bit. And then I don't. I mean, I personally hope that Mixon's coming back because again, like I got him in
Yeah,
the other league, but if that's like the gap, I guess, for Chubb. Like if Mixon comes back and starts eating his carries, like that could be a problem. So I don't know. I guess like at the moment, like I think a cool team is really strong. I love the young wide receiver approach. And I guess we'll just see kind of like with some of these question mark guys, like how long they can really hold up through the length of the season. But I mean, so far, like there's no reason to doubt the squad. As far as week two goes. So I'm not sure if I would put a cool like on like any sort of like I don't know quote unquote fraud list or whatever. And then I look at Grant's team and it's kind of a some like in some ways even better. Like I love the Hurts and the Barkley stack, like deadly stack. Um, and then like Tyler Warren, like he's going to be good. Like Jameson Williams will probably put up numbers each week, week in week out. And then you come back to like where are the potential cracks, and like Drake London, love Drake London, but just something about that Atlanta offense. Like sometimes it gets tripped up, and
Yeah.
he'll let you down at like the wrong time type of thing. And then DK as well, like Aaron Rodgers, 41, 43, whatever he is, like how long is that I guess like offense going to hold its weight. So I think both Cool and Grant like very solid rosters out the gate. To have incredible like starters like when you look up and down the roster, but
Yeah.
of course like it's early in the year. Like, is Devontae Williams going to keep ripping like as RB1 for Dallas? Like, who knows? So I don't think I would say either one are frauds, but both of course like have risk on the roster just like anyone else.
Yeah, I agree. I will say I think and I'm gonna say something similar that I said about Joe's team. I think I think a Cool's team is a better football team. Like I like a Cool's team, like I like a Cool's lineup better
Hmm.
if I was again like having a roster for football. Like if we were playing real life football, I'd take his roster over Grant's. But I think long term, Grant's roster is better, at
Hmm.
least his starters. Because, like you said, I do think Akul has some questions with hopefully Mixon coming back, because I have
Hmm.
him. The running back concern with Dobbins, Garrett Wilson.
Hmm.
If Godwin comes back, how good would Emeka Egbuka be? So I think there's a lot of like I think Akul's in the position now where he can win. He can start 4-2, 5-1, but then at some point he's gonna have to make moves because the team that I think the team that Akul's starting in week 3 won't be nearly, not nearly, but like won't be as good if he started the same exact team week 11.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I think that's
Um,
fair.
I think Grant's
And
team will be just
yeah,
as good, if not better, week 11 than it is week 3,
I mean, dude,
assuming
like
everybody stays healthy, obviously.
you gotta love the Hurts Barkley stack, like because you just know like one of those two guys is gonna find the end zone every single game,
Yeah, it's a
and
guaranteed two
probably
touchdowns a game.
exactly, yeah, exactly. Like that's pretty good, like you can take that to the bank, and then Warren emerging as like maybe possibly tight end one for like the entire 10 group for the season. Like
Yeah.
that could be pretty deadly. And then he's got Ridley on the bench, Ertz on the bench, like when you start looking at a starting roster that's solid, and then you got bench guys who could like probably go out there and start for some of the other teams in the league, like you're probably in a pretty good spot.
Yeah.
But I agree, like cool, maybe has some more question marks as we get deeper into the season, but we'll see.
We'll see. But in any case, 2-0 is a great start.
Hmm.
Really good chance to make the playoffs at 2-0. So I
Hmm.
wanted
Yeah.
to jump to some injuries. We've had some injuries in week 2, and I wanted, since you're 2-0 and you have the best team in the league and you're number one in the PRs and all hell return on the morgue, I think it makes the most sense for you to give advice to some guys that have some injuries on what they should do, maybe short term, long term. So let's
Hmm.
start with Ante. Ante lost Joe Burrow for 3 months. He had the Joe Burrow Jamar Chase stack. He no longer has that.
Hmm.
Um, what looking at his roster, well, the starting lineup that he's trying out in week 3, I is I mean, it'll do well, but it looks rough on paper. He's starting Aaron Rodgers, Tony Pollard, Quinshawn Judkins, Jamar Chase without Burrow, Lad McConkey, Trey McBride, Debo, Steelers D, Steelers kicker.
It's
So
so,
and that
dude.
this is week 3, not week 13.
Yeah, it's such a funny mix of like, wow, like this team would have been so good like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and then it's like, wow, like this team, like Judkins, like maybe he like really turns it on, and he's like an insane running back for Cleveland this year. So, I don't know, it's just like an interesting mix of like the
Yeah.
old and the young, I
What
guess.
advice would you give to Ante,
I mean, looking at
knowing
his
that he lost Joe Burrow?
Yeah. I mean, I see he's got Rodgers in there right now. And I don't see like a reason to like really doubt that move at this point. But I just think when you look at his past couple of seasons and like I mean, Seahawks he didn't do great, I guess, but you just I don't know. You should be like it's like almost like you're bracing for a decline. Like it's not like if it's when type of thing for Rodgers at this point. So, looking at like I don't know. I mean, I guess we can check out free agents at quarterback, um, and see who's really looking good. I mean, like if I was him, Penix might be an option. Like he's young, he can he can deal it like for sure. Maybe he has some rocky up and down type of weeks, but I think the offense has potential there, so that could be a direction for him to go. Um, Russell Wilson clearly will just throw it up and just see what happens. So risky, but if he can like start throwing those moon balls like he used to in Seattle and like have it work like it did like last weekend,
Yeah,
that's pretty good. And then I think like the Cam Ward dude, like I don't know, something about Cam Ward is really cool at the gate. Like I think he can make some insane throws. He's an athletic guy, clearly a leader of the team even though he's young. Like that could be a flyer to take. But I guess the obvious one that I'm neglecting right now, Jared Goff, like
yeah,
high powered offense, distributes the ball well, veteran, like clean pocket. That guy will put up 20 plus fantasy points a week. It's just a matter of keeping him upright
yeah.
and not having too much pressure. So Ante actually has some options here. And I think honestly, like,
He's got to spend big though. No, probably
yeah,
not. Probably not. The market for
maybe.
QB isn't that much right now.
Yeah, yeah. But he's
Um,
he's got some options. Like QB, you can do some what would you say, streaming of quarterbacks, like
yeah, which is what
similar to
he'll
some other
have to do the
positions.
rest of
Yeah.
the season.
Hmm.
So I'll say this. I think looking at the roster, and
Hmm.
I'm looking, and if I was Ante, I'm seeing, okay, I have Rodgers instead of Burrow.
Yeah.
That's, I don't know, instead of 19 points, that's 15, or 20, that's 15, that's -5. And
Hmm.
then looking at Jamar Chase, I know he's projected 18, but like his, he hasn't done, he's had one really good game without Joe Burrow.
Hmm.
So you'll figure account for like maybe 3 points for him. So and I'm just making numbers up. So that's eight. So now you write it down 8 points. Plus your running back situation is sorry, I'll take worse than the league by a long margin, by a wide margin. So you're losing points there. So
Hmm.
I would try to find a trade partner, and I think you probably should early on. You should probably try to find a trade partner that'll give you a quarterback and a running back. Um, I don't really know
Who are
what you
you
would give up
who are
though.
you trotting out there? Yeah, exactly. Are you well, the Jamar Chase thing that caught me. Would you
You'd
trade
have
the number
you'd
one overall?
no, it's too early to trade that. I just
Okay.
like I don't know. I would probably like I don't know. Well, he doesn't really have anything to move. He doesn't have any really wiggle room. Though his lineup is like he I don't know. I would try. I guess I would just try to see if anybody's interested in giving you a quarterback and a running back. That's what I would do. Maybe take the hit at tight end and
Hmm.
move the tight end for a drop in tight end to get like, something like that. But I would probably try to make a move for a quarterback and a running back.
I think it's tough for him because his bench is just light. Like,
Yeah, I don't,
um,
and there's nobody there. I don't think there's anybody there that might pop. Maybe Matthew
yeah.
Golden, but I don't know.
So to your point though, it's probably a good idea for him to make a trade of someone who has like a deeper bench where he could get some like, good pieces in return at quarterback and maybe running back,
Yeah. And
since he's
and
got
I
some
would
depth
forfeit
like
I
at
would forfeit
receiver.
Trey
Yeah.
I would forfeit Trey McBride.
Yeah, but even then it's like Johnny, like who's gonna play for you then? Johnny Smith is gonna step
No,
into
I would
that
try
role.
to
Like,
just downgrade a tight end. I would just swap tight ends with
oh, I
somebody.
see. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's fair. Like a good like a I don't know, I don't want to say like a contender at this point, we're so early, but like a team that's like has a lot of positive momentum and maybe just missing a tight ends, like that could be a decent deal for both sides.
Like just taking a look at like I don't know. Well, never mind. He doesn't. Never mind. I don't know. That's what I would do.
Yeah, yeah.
Here's
I think
another
that's
one.
fair.
Here's another one. I lost an RB2 to a hamstring. I think he's on IR. Aaron Jones.
Hmm.
Taking a look at my team, and I know we're playing each other, pretend we're not. This is more for the long term.
Yeah.
What would you do? Oh wow, our meeting is already over in 10 minutes, so what
Really?
would you yeah. And we still have some ways to go. I know we love to chat.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we're
What
just
would you
yapping away.
do?
Let me pull up the incredible bust is I mean, yeah, the definitely got a little bit of a gap for the with Jones going down. I wonder if Najee starts to get a little more burn as he gets more comfortable in the LA offense. Kareem Hunt, I feel like somehow just keeps showing up. So, and I mean, yeah, and Charbonnet too. Like, you got some like guys that are, I guess, like like on the fringe, I guess, of like potentially giving you 10 points a week type of thing.
Yeah,
Um, your receiving core is insane. Like Mike Evans feels like he always goes hard.
it's been
Amon
disappointing
Ra,
so far, but I think he'll have a good day against the
yeah.
Jets.
I mean, dude, I guess, man,
At
to
11, he's
speed it
had
up.
19 targets in 2 games, so that I'm holding my
Yeah,
hat on the targets.
I just
Five
think
of
that
eight, 5 of 11.
your roster is really strong, and so I don't know if I would be like really flipping too many things over at this point. I guess what you could do is you could look for like a Marvin Harrison Jr. Type of trade, or Roma Dunze has been really hot lately, and so not sure if that will continue. It seems like it might. Like if he's balling right now, the Bears are kind of on the floor, so they can only go up in theory. So you could capitalize on his value and try to get like a running back, maybe straight, or just use him as like the high value piece and get like a tier two receiver running back duo in return or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
obviously, like,
is Roma Dunze a high sell scenario, a sell high scenario? Or is Roma Dunze like, dude,
I know,
you
I,
sold the wide receiver, like the dude has,
mm,
in 2 weeks, 13 catches for 165 yards and 3 touchdowns on 20 targets. And I
yeah,
know they played the Lions, so they had to like play catch up the whole time. But if they're gonna play catch up
mm,
the whole season, and are you like, is that a stupid like that's the tough thing with guys like Roma
mm.
Dunze? Are you gonna sell them high or is that
Hmm.
so?
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, no. I mean that is the question. I mean, dude, like I'll say I've said this. I said this like 2 years ago, and Caleb was coming out, but like I don't know. I just never totally bought it, and so to see where he is now, like at this point, like I love that Rome is getting all that, volume, even
Yeah,
with Caleb suffering. But it's like again, it's just one of those like time things where it's like, is he to your point, like is he going to keep that up, or is it going to really flame out in Chicago, where we're talking about like Bagnett or whatever the backup is getting in there and like getting reps,
hmm,
Badgen or whatever. So yeah, I mean, honestly, dude, if I was you, like, I just don't know if I'd panic at this point, like, and make any huge moves, because you got a couple of running backs in your roster that could, again, like, give you that, I don't know, somewhere between 5 and 10, and like every week, even if your team balls, like, there's going to be one guy on the roster who doesn't perform, so
yeah,
you could just kind of weather the storm like that. But obviously, if Rich is taking calls for Jordan Mason, dude, I mean, he actually looked pretty good, so that could be something.
yeah. If I make a move, it'll be something small, but it won't be anything crazy.
Yeah,
But I'm
yeah,
thinking
yeah.
about it.
Hmm.
6 minutes left. I wanted to get to some important things. So first off, let's pick your week 3 matchups.
Okay, yeah.
So you want to just, if you want, you could just rip them quick.
Hmm.
Let's see. Your first matchup is me versus you. Go for it. So last week, Zach picked against me,
Hmm.
and I lost. And now
Hmm.
I have the guy that's playing against me on the pod, and sure enough, he's probably going to pick against me again. So,
Yeah, I'm going to. I'm sorry. Sorry,
all right,
Chimpy.
that's fair.
And
That's fair.
honestly, like I'm due for a good corking myself, so maybe you're the guy. Maybe not, maybe.
Hey, yo, no better person to cork you than the Podfather.
I
The
do love that that's been the trademark term for the season. I hope it
I
never
love it
dies.
too. The
Yeah.
two long fellows, Zach against Chris S.
Uh, I gotta go Big Elf, I guess, on this one. Projected 130 versus 118. Projections aren't
130,
aren't
130
everything,
this
but
early
damn,
is
yeah,
nuts.
that's pretty crazy.
This is a great matchup. The game of the week, Chris
Mhm.
Cataldo against Vinco.
Absolute grudge match, dude. I don't know. I think Vinko's team's on a was kind of tough out the gate. I think he's on a bit of a heater. I'm going to give it to Vinko, and we're going to keep rolling chalk on this so far.
That puts Chris Cataldo at 0-3 to start the season.
Yeah, yeah, damn.
A cool
Sorry,
versus
DJ.
Josh.
I'm gonna go. Hold on, let me check out the matchup real quick because this is a close one. Uh, I'm gonna go. Assuming Waddle plays, I see he's questionable. I'm gonna go Josh. First upset.
That puts a cool down at 2-1, and he loses. Ante versus Joe, an early toilet bowl match.
Yeah, sorry, Ante. I'm gonna give Joe his first one on this one. I feel like he's due, and the Jamar Chase thing is tough without Burrow. So we'll see. Maybe I'll be completely wrong about that.
Rich versus Grant.
Oh man, another slugfest. I'm looking at the rosters right now. Man, I think I gotta give it to Rich. I'm gonna give Rich his first one as well. I feel like I'm Robin Hood right now, just giving out underdog picks, but I think the Rams will be a tough matchup for the Eagles. Not saying that they're gonna win that game, but or lose that game rather, but yeah, that could be a little bit of a matchup problem, I guess, for
So
Grant. So
that puts Chris as the only 0-3 team, and that puts you as the only 3-0 team. Just letting you know.
wow, no pressure, I guess, on both sides of that equation.
Next up, we'll do your Sunday night football bet. I really hope everybody's actually doing this. I'm gonna do it every single week, 25 bucks. I really hope everyone else is doing it.
hmm
Chiefs at Giants. Who's your pick for any time touchdown scorer?
Chiefs at Giants. I think I gotta go with I think Scatterborough gets in there. I think he gets in there again.
Cam Scatabo?
Oh yeah, let's go, baby. Light it up. It's gonna be good odds.
I actually love that. Cam Scatabo. I love that.
But
Okay, 2 minutes left. So we have 2 minutes left because I would have to stop recording and then end the call so I can keep the recording. So 2 minutes left. The
mhm.
last thing we gotta do is we gotta eliminate a punishment. Do you have the punishments in front of you?
I'm gonna make it easy because I was literally did this last week, and I'm gonna eliminate Vinko's the dressing up as the animal at the zoo.
Wow, that's an upset. So the one that we have eliminated already is 1v11 paintball. Vinkles gets eliminated. 2 hours in a zoo, dressed in an animal costume, chosen by the winner. That has been eliminated, ladies and gentlemen. That's a tough one.
Sorry, Vinky. That just after the Bluey fiasco of 2025. I don't know if I
Nobody's
can do it.
nobody's dressing up anymore.
Yeah, I don't know if I can sign off on that.
That's funny.
I would have loved to do that punishment personally, so maybe this will be my like ultimate, peak moment. We'll see.
That's funny. Well, Keenan, about 30 seconds left. Thanks so much for joining. Really appreciate it. Great job coming right back on the pod as soon as you were snubbed. Really talented stuff. Looking forward to our matchup this week. I really hope I get to take you down because if I don't take you, ooh, really,
Oh,
one
hey
of us is
yo,
getting one of us is getting corked, baby.
back to the corking.
Best of luck to you. Thanks so much for joining. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for having me on, Chimpy. I appreciate it. Love that the pod's back. Love all the work you're putting into this thing, man. Like it does make it a ton more fun. So, and I like the new format too. So you're off to a hot start. And yeah, let's have a good matchup.
Awesome. You're the man. See you soon.
Later, brother.
Till next time. Ciao, ciao.
See ya.